Hey, mommy. So, if you've been following me on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or even Tumblr, I started this process of doing microlocs. I finally said, you know what? I researched it for months. I've been wanting to do it for over a year. My husband, both my sons, all have dreads, but I studied the interlocking method. I studied sistahlocs, micro dreads. I studied the cost, upwards of $1,200. That's a no-no. So what I'm going to do in this video is try to just show you what technique I use. I'm not a professional, but it was the easiest thing that I've probably done and probably the best decision I made. Once I was done, I was totally happy and excited with the results. So as I go through this, I'm gonna try to not leave out anything, but let's start with step one is that I did this on dry natural hair. I don't really know my texture, but my hair is pretty fine. It's thinning a little bit towards the temples, and I'm hoping that this is going to correct that. So as you watch, just kind of keep in mind that, I've been natural since 2014. I totally did a big chop, cut off all the relaxer, went down to about an inch of hair and grew it out from there. But since then, because my hair doesn't really hold curl and humidity is not my friend, I have still been wearing wigs. So even with all the length that I have and all the different things that I could be doing with my hair, I opted for crochets or micro braids or wigs all the time. So this decision, a lot of it came from me just wanting to finally let my hair down, let my natural hair show. And I really loved the fact that my curls could still be evident and come through with the ends of the micro dreads. I also opted not to do sister locks just because of how small they were and the process that I would have to go through doing it myself to use a small enough needle to upkeep them and keep them from kind of sticking together or locking together. Maybe when I got lazy and didn't have time. So what you're watching now is I parted my hair in 4 quadrants. It had been washed 2 days prior. The only product that had been put on it was some flaxseed gel that I had pulled it back in a bun. I took it out of the bun. I detangled it. I parted it into 4 sections. And I started on my right side. I'm right-handed. It seemed to be the most easy, especially with the twist. And so basically I started to part with what I thought was a decent sized part, and I'm a feeler, so I can just kind of feel if they're about the same size. It's not going to be perfect. I didn't buy the little thing that spaces it out. So I'm going to just replay and talk through this again because as you see, I'm trying to keep not only the parts the same, but also just the spacing. But I bought the needle from Amazon. It was a little bigger than I expected, which is another reason that once I got it, I knew for sure I wasn't going to do sister locks. It was not the right size needle. So when you're researching this, make sure you know exactly what size needle you want to get for what you want to do. But this is totally doable. So you'll see me not a really tight twist, not starting at the root, but just starting to twist. And keeping my hands moving in a downward motion so the twists aren't too tight because I don't want them to unravel. And they actually held pretty good on dry hair. My hair doesn't have any oil on it, so I don't have a lot of slippage. I twist it down and I try to leave a finger length or almost a finger length of hair out at the end. I didn't want to leave too much. Because some parts of my hair are more curly than others on the end. The back, it gets really curly. In the front, because I do sew ins and flat iron it from time to time, the curl pattern is a little looser. But I decided to go through and once I make a part to twist all of my sections first and then go back with the needle. But the interlocking method is pretty simple. Just think of your parts as a square and you're going to start and you're going to go down through the top, through the right or left side. Try to go clockwise just to keep up with yourself. Sometimes I found that I was forgetting. So go down through the top, and I apologize. I realized later my hand was in the way. Go through the right side, come up from the bottom, go through the left side, and try to go back through the top because you want your twist to lay flat down. If you're going through the process and you realize that it's getting too tight or too close to your scalp and you're not going to be able to go down, skip whatever whatever side you were about to do, and just go ahead and pull it straight down. You may have to do that twice in a row. And once it feels very close to your scalp, and you don't have any of the loose roots, you're done. The needle is a little bit bigger. That's why I said, at some point it's not going to go back through anymore, but my hair is so fine and a little thin towards the front, so it goes through pretty easy. You do want to try to, when you push it in right there, to lift it up, but as you get closer to your scalp, you're not going to be able to do that. So I'm going to do a couple of these for you guys. I'm going to speed it up, take a look, and then I have another clip of me doing this. If you're right-handed, just go ahead and start with your right side. It only took me about 2.5 hours working nonstop to finish this right side. Once I got to the left side, which was a second day, day 2, I started on a Thursday, and I did the left side. I was moving a lot slower because just of the positioning of my hands and making sure I'm twisting the same direction for all of these. So it was a little bit more difficult. The process took about double the time to get finished, but I made it through. So watch this for a few, and guys, just start to plan your own process based on your hair and what you feel most comfortable with. But I promise you, if you have any